Sometimes, the most beautiful things in the world are hidden under a layer of dirt. We walk past them every day. We look at them, but we do not truly see them. I learned this lesson in a way I will never forget. It happened in my small village, a place where everyone was always in a hurry to get nowhere. This is the story of how a mountain of mud taught us the value of the soul. In the center of our village square, there was a large, ugly shape. It had been there for as long as the oldest man could remember. It was tall, maybe twice the height of a child, but it was covered in thick, dried mud. It looked like a giant, lumpy rock that someone had forgotten to move. Because it was so ugly, we ignored it. The birds sat on it. The rain turned the mud into a sticky mess. When the sun was hot, the mud cracked and looked even worse. "It is just an old eyesore," the mayor would say, walking past it in his fancy shoes. "It is a waste of space," the shopkeeper would grumble as he swept the dust toward it. We used the statue for the most basic things. We leaned our dusty bikes against it. We used it to scrape the mud off our boots before going into the market. To us, the statue was nothing. It was less than nothing. It was a piece of junk that didn't belong in our lives. I was just like everyone else. I walked past it every morning on my way to work. I never looked at it. I never thought about what was inside. I was too busy thinking about my own problems. I wanted more money. I wanted a better house. I felt like my life was also just a pile of mud. One Tuesday, a man arrived in our village. He was not from around here. He wore simple clothes and carried a small wooden bucket and a piece of soft blue cloth. He didn't go to the market to buy food. He didn't go to the inn to sleep. Instead, he walked straight to the center of the square. He stood in front of the muddy statue. He looked at it for a long time. He didn't look at it with disgust. He looked at it the way a mother looks at a sleeping child. He looked at it with love. The villagers stopped to watch. We thought he was crazy. "Hey, old man," someone shouted. "That's just a pile of dirt. Don't waste your time." The man did not answer. He dipped his blue cloth into the bucket of water. He reached out and began to scrub. He started at the very top. He worked slowly. He worked with care. At first, nothing happened. The mud was thick. It was hard like a stone. But the man did not stop. He scrubbed the same spot for an hour. Then, a small piece of mud fell off. A tiny flash of light hit the sun. I was standing close by. I saw it first. My hands went cold. My chest felt tight. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Under the brown, dry mud, there was something yellow. It was very bright. It looked like a star had fallen and stayed there. The man kept working. More mud fell to the ground. Soon, the top of the statue was clear. It wasn't a rock. It wasn't a lump of clay. It was a head. A beautiful, golden head with a peaceful face. The village went silent. People stopped walking. The mayor dropped his hat. The shopkeeper stopped sweeping. We all gathered around the stranger. "Is that gold?" I whispered. My heart was beating fast. "It is solid gold," he said, as if he already knew. He did not stop scrubbing. "It has been here the whole time. You just couldn't see it because of the dirt." I felt a strange wave of shame wash over me. I had lived here my whole life. I had kicked this statue. I had thrown trash near it. I thought it was worthless because it looked dirty. I never once thought to clean it. The stranger looked tired, but his eyes were happy. I couldn't just stand there anymore. I ran to my house and grabbed a bucket. I grabbed a scrub brush. I will help you, I cried out. Soon, others followed. The baker brought warm water. The schoolteacher brought sponges. Even the children helped by picking up the pieces of mud that fell to the ground. We worked together all day. As the sun began to set, the last piece of mud fell away. The statue was magnificent. It was a golden warrior holding a lamp. The gold was so pure that it glowed in the twilight. The light from the statue seemed to fill the whole square. It made the village look beautiful. It made us look beautiful. The statue had been there for 100 years. It had survived storms. It had survived the heat. It had stayed perfect and valuable, even while the world treated it like trash. The mud was only on the outside. It never touched the gold. That night, the stranger prepared to leave. He didn't ask for money. He didn't want the gold. Why did you do this? I asked him as he wiped his hands. How did you know there was gold under all that dirt? The stranger reached into his pocket and pulled out a faded, yellowed letter. My great-grandfather was the blacksmith here 100 years ago, he explained. During the Great War, the villagers were afraid that thieves would steal the golden protector. They didn't have a vault, so they had to be clever. They covered the entire statue in a thick layer of river mud and straw. They made it look like a pile of junk on purpose. Over time, the people who knew the secret passed away. The village forgot. The junk just became part of the scenery. But my family kept the letter. I had traveled from a far-off city just to see if my family legend was true. I knew the gold was there because I knew the history that everyone else had forgotten. He smiled at me and touched my shoulder. People are like this statue, he said. Life throws mud at us. We feel heavy. We feel ugly. We think we are made of dirt because that is all people see. But inside, every one of us is made of gold. You just have to remember to clean off the mud once in a while. He walked away into the dark, leaving us with our golden treasure. The village changed after that day. We kept the statue clean, but we also started to treat each other differently. When I saw my neighbor struggling, I didn't see a poor man. I saw a golden soul covered in a little bit of life's mud. I tried to help him scrub it off. I started to look at myself differently, too. When I made a mistake or felt sad, I told myself, this is just mud. It is not who I am. Underneath, I am still gold. We all have days where we feel like that old statue. We feel tired, messy, and ignored. We think our value is gone because we have had a hard time. But the truth is, your value never changes. The gold is always there. You might be covered in the mud of doubt, the mud of fear, or the mud of what other people say about you. But that mud is not you. You are the light underneath it. You just need to take the time to be kind to yourself. You need to wash away the lies and see your own shine. You are solid gold. Don't let a little mud tell you otherwise. Maybe the statue is not in your village. Maybe it is inside you. So tell me, what muddy statue are you ignoring in your life right now? Is it a dream? A skill? Or a person you take for granted? If this story made you think even a little, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to English Shadowing Stories. Let's discover the gold inside us together.